happy to host you on the show, Interesting Insights, and I'm glad you could make it. So, how do you feel coming over here? Over to you.
Think it's great. I haven't spoken to you, I think, in six odd years. So it's great to come here and I think share the few experiences that I have.
Wonderful, wonderful, Andrea. So, before we begin, can you please introduce yourself to the audience? You can begin with your name, your full name, place you were born, your education, schooling, etc. What are you doing right now? And last but not the least, your hobbies. Over to you.
So I am from Bombay, born and raised here. I have done my schooling from Andheri East. My college was Mithibai, and I have a postgraduate degree in economics from University of Mumbai. I have around 7 years of work experience in and around research, business research and economic research. And currently I work with a Japanese investment bank as a country risk analyst. So I basically rate countries for the bank. So
Excellent.
that's about my job and what I do. But apart from that, my hobbies include, of course, I enjoy traveling as much as possible. I enjoy watching theatre, plays, stand-up comedy. I also quite enjoy like outdoor activities, so treks perhaps, or a little bit of working out here and there. So yeah, that's about me.
Excellent, Andrea. Thank you so much. So, um, there are multiple hobbies, but we will choose traveling because it would cover everything else, most of them. So, please, can you tell us the story behind it? I mean, why did you start traveling and those things?
Sure. Uh, so I'd say I started traveling or enjoy traveling because I like learning about new cultures. I like comparing how we live here to where people live elsewhere. Learning from them, hopefully, perhaps teaching them a little bit about Indians also. Many a times, I think we end up having these notions about other cultures and they end up having notions about us. So it's good to maybe change those biases as well. So yeah, exploring new places, food, I think also exploring new types of food, different geographies. So these I think are the primary reasons why I like to travel.
So, can you recall some of your memorable travels around the globe? Over to you.
I would say southern Spain, Seville is very beautiful. So that's one place I really enjoyed. It's not one of the richer parts of Spain, but in terms of money wise, but culturally it's very rich. People are very warm. I think almost every day people after work gather in like these bars to just have a drink and eat and connect with. So very good sense of community there. So I really liked Seville. Then Grindelwald in Switzerland is very, very beautiful. Like very, very scenic, straight out of a fairy tale. So I had not seen those kind of terrains before. So that's again one of my memorable experiences. And yeah, Lisbon I think is a very beautiful city. It's divided into the old part and the new part. So the new part was reconstructed because it got ruined by an earthquake, but the old part is a bit uphill, it's on a mountain, so it didn't get ruined by the same earthquake. So it's as it is. So there's this really nice contrast in one city where you have these old houses on one side and then the newer part of the city on one side. So okay, I think these would be the ones at the top of my head.
Excellent, excellent. So, how easy or how difficult is it to travel as a hobby with a job at hand? I mean, so yeah, what are your thoughts?
It's not the easiest thing, of course, because you have to plan in advance. I mean, as everyone in corporate would know, we have like a set cap on holidays, and you have to give your employers a heads up that these are the dates you're not going to be there. But I think it's doable if you plan in advance, well in advance, at least 6 months in advance. You sort of have your dates fixed and you start the process 6 months in advance, 6 months or 4 months in advance. It's not that difficult. It's just that it involves a lot of pre-planning and thinking around it. And I think right now employers have become a little more friendly, I would say, encouraging employees to take those leaves or days off at least once a year.
Especially after COVID, I believe.
They do, they do. So, one long vacation or one you can break is achievable. But I would say, just give your employer a heads up and just plan it in advance, and it should be very much doable.
Thank you. And this is, of course, a gender-biased question. So, being a woman, how easy or how difficult it is to travel the world? Over to you.
So, I think even I had those biases as a woman before I traveled, and none of my trips were solo. It was always with like family or another female friend or other friends up until 2022, when I had booked my travel. Sort of planned my trip to Spain and Portugal with another friend of mine, and I was all excited to go. And 2 days before, she was tested positive for COVID.
Oh God!
Yeah, and she couldn't obviously make it to the trip, and then it was my decision to sort of go ahead and go solo or drop it completely. And since this was my birthday trip, and I was planning it for a while, I thought how bad could it be, and I decided to go ahead with it, although I was a little bit concerned, but I think after the trip, it was a good 14 days in Spain and Portugal. 8 days Spain, 7 days Portugal. I think through it a lot of my opinions changed, because people are very helpful. People are very friendly. They come up to you and talk. If they see you clicking a picture all by yourself, so like multiple people came up to me and said, "Oh, can I take a picture of you?" I remember again this was again I think Sever only, where I entered this store and to look at some dresses, and then the store owner was asking me, "Oh, you're from India," and all of that. And then he told me, he gave me a heads up. He's like, "This area has a lot of pickpocketers, so please like hold your bag in front of you and take my card. Here's my number. If you need anything, you're in trouble." So I feel like people are very helpful like that. Even though they're not Indians or they don't speak the same language, when they see a solo female traveler, I think at least in today's day and age, they will encourage you. But there are few, I would say, not drawbacks, but a few things holding us back. I mean, you'll have to speak to a guy to get a man's perspective on this. But I never stepped out after say 9 or 10 a.m. Like I returned to my hotel or hostel wherever I was staying by 9 and 10 when I was alone, and that's not the case when I'm with my friends or family. So I made sure that but I think that's a general rule for all solo travelers in a new country, that you get back by 9 and 10. So I think that's a little bit of a drawback. But otherwise, it's no longer difficult for women. I think it's encouraged. Wherever you go, people will be very helpful. For sure. Like I think I would tell people to travel solo, and especially women. Like you just have to be a little bit more cognizant of your environment, a little bit more aware of your belongings and stuff like that. But otherwise, you don't need to worry. Yeah, you don't need to worry. This is on a side note. Whichever city you're traveling or country, have like the Indian embassy numbers with you of that particular country at hand. So in case something happens, you know that you can just ask someone to call the embassy, or you call the embassy, and Indian embassies are very helpful everywhere. So you can reach the nearest police station, they'll take you to the embassy. But I fortunately not gotten into any such situations. But yeah, it's always good to have those embassy numbers handy, for sure.
So what would be your advice to somebody, especially a woman who wants to start traveling around the world in 2023 as a hobby? What do you?
Like definitely go for it. Research countries or cities in advance. What are the safer neighborhoods? What are the not so safe neighborhoods? So definitely look into that. I mean, also like where there are most of the touristy places where you have a lot of these, and you'll see this a lot in Europe, where you have a lot of pickpocketing or these scams going on. So just read up a little bit about that and go in advance. But otherwise, I mean, I would say seize the opportunity. Whichever country you get to explore, go ahead. And when you go there, I think this is for any location, is that try to sort of live as much as possible as a local and not as a tourist. So of course we like to check off those touristy things. Everybody likes to go to the Eiffel Tower, get a picture, this, that, but try and get the feel of the place. Also go to a local bar, or just speak to some old grandmom or some old uncles over there, so you get a feel of the place. So that really gives you a good perspective of the country. But yeah, otherwise I think seize every opportunity you get to travel to any place within India and outside India.
So Andrea, it was lovely chatting with you and getting your perspective of traveling across the globe or anywhere in the world. So on behalf of the viewers, I would like to wish you the very best on both the professional as well as personal fronts, and just keep traveling.
Thank you so much, Abhiram. It was lovely talking to you, and yeah, good luck to whoever takes on their journey next.